Good evening, everybody who have joined us today. So, myself, Harini from Sai Chronicle. So, let me tell you in brief about what Sai Chronicle is and what we do. So, Sai Chronicle is basically a community forum which aims in bringing a lot of facts to the society so that we can clearly differentiate between what is a myth and what is a fact. And in this notion, we are conducting a series of workshops and sessions. So today we have with us Mr. Gautam, who will be talking about opportunities and challenges in the emerging field of synthetic biology. So Mr. Gautam, he is currently an research intern at Indian Institute of Horticultural Research at Bangalore. This is an institution which comes under ICAR. So he basically enjoys collaborating with a lot of scientist from top research institute, and his primary goal is to achieve milestones in the field of life science. He got graduated from St. Joseph's College at Trichy from botany, Bachelor's of Science in Botany, and then he proceeded to go to pursue his postgrad in microbiology at IAHR. So he has hands-on experience in a lot of science areas, which includes plant tissue culture, landscape and designing, and clinical biology through his research internships. And he has also worked on remuneration in the role of methylotropic microbes in numerous food crops. And his academic project, which is titled Carbon Sequestration, has been noted and published in Indian Express newspaper. And he has a well-versed knowledge in converting all the strategic ideas into new innovation. So we are very happy to have you, Gautam, today. So now the forum is yours. We request all the participants to stay muted till the session ends. And please keep posting the questions in the chat box, and the speaker will answer the questions at the end of the session. And also we request all of you to not record the session, and the recorded session and the recorded link, YouTube link from Sai Chronicle will be shared to you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Gautam.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. Okay, without delay, let's get into it. This topic may sound new to few life science students too, but in reality, this is an emerging site in the field of biology. If you are aware of this topic, let me revise what it is, or if it is new to you, let me introduce what it actually is. It is nothing but the design and construction of new biological parts, sometimes a device or a complete system which is not present in this natural world at all. Or sometimes we will be redesigning the existing biological system that has specific tasks to do in the environment as well as our human body. All of a sudden, there were huge development in nanoscale technologies in this 21st century. There were electrolyte materials have been discovered. Many advancements has come in computer and electronics, which leads to faster storage of huge data in smaller space. This led to the manipulation of matter at the level of atoms and molecules so that we can alter the DNA and RNA. This has contributed much to this synthetic biology. Okay, this title synthetic biology came in literature in 1980s as Barbara Huben was a lady who described her bacteria as a synthetic organism. Since bacteria is a living organism, this was considered to be biological. As it was altered by a human, it is called synthetic. Together it is called synthetic biology. But to the world, it was largely called as bioengineering. Okay, to be short, this is a design and engineering of biological system which is not found in nature. It is completely human intervened. Okay, and this is another field called bioinformatics. It's nothing but a computational biology which use information technology in biological science. That means a computer will gather the information, it will store and analyze and helps in merging the biological data, that is DNA. This has contributed much to the synthetic biology. For example, a life is considered as an information system where the DNA is considered to be the database because DNA has the information to be inherited. The skin of your hair, the texture, everything is decided because of the DNA. So here the DNA is considered as a database and RNA as a decision network, that is a representing network, and proteins and genes were considered to be a DLL. DLL stands for Dynamic Link Library in Computer, which means it stores some data and express things. Again, it is model and some life is stimulated as a computer program, as a computer program will be needed to stimulate a program in computer as like our life is stimulated. To add flush to this model, silicon bodies were used to create some biological models. And why should we want to do this? What is the need to understand this natural system? Actually, I told this is not a natural system. To understand the natural system, we must know to change it. If it is similar, we need not want to know what the difference is. To know the difference, we should know what, and to fully understand the system, we should be able to predict the outcome also, because we are going to completely change the natural system. So we must know the outcome of that source. And this is a big concept where you introduce the life science into machineries or machineries into life science. And the synthetic biology is a new area in biological research which is emerging at a high rate, which combines science and engineering together. Not only science and engineering, in specific, there are numerous disciplines called bioinformatics, molecular biology, information technology, plant science, animal science, and so on. So many different approaches, methodologies has been put together. But what they have in common is designing and construction of new biological parts or devices which is not found in nature. This is the common thing in synthetic biology. Okay, what are the subfields in synthetic biology? First, they are focusing in DNA synthesis, because DNA cannot be used as such. You should go for synthesis. This is the first thing they are doing. Next thing is protocells. Okay, there is a question called which comes first, either the hen or egg. The answer is protocells, because protocells is nothing but a self-organized, endogenously ordered, that is, it is formed within a spherical collection of lipid particle, which is considered as a stepping stone for the origin of life. It is nothing but reproduction of RNA. This creates the life. The name itself shows the previous stage of cell, that is called protocell. Synthetic biology focuses on protocells too, and it also focuses on DNA-based biocircuits. These DNA-based biocircuits are very much useful in the field of medicine. And another subfield is minimal genome. It means the genome has been reduced to bare minimum, that is minimizing the genome. The genome sequence is very large. You cannot use the entire thing to create a synthetic organism. Thing is, you should minimize it. That is sufficient to build a new organism. That is what they are doing. And another thing is xenobiology. It is another important topic and interesting one in the field of synthetic biology. This xenobiology is nothing but synthesizing and creating a few biological devices and machineries. These machineries, that is biological machineries, have a DNA like DNA called XNA, that is xenonucleic acid. They don't have DNA or RNA. They have XNA, that is called xenobiology. Okay, what is the scope? How it differs from other things? It attempts to recreate the unnatural chemical system, which has emergent properties like it can inherit it, it can have its own genetics, and even it will go for evolution. This is something interesting about the synthetic biology. Okay, what will be the goal of this synthetic biology, that is digitally created cells? First thing is, by doing this simulation of gene regulatory network, this can shed light on life, and this is curing mechanisms, which is a great deal in this 21st century, that too in India, during this pandemic issue too. And second thing is test microarray data for biological models, which means you have to go for purification and scanning, and then you can produce large amount of data. Those data can be put into third goal by creating biological cells with new specific functions, which can be used in the environment as well as in the medical field. Okay, just as computer do, this data bits and processing bits are made from the same material like numbers or this adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, or uracil in biology. These were the nucleotides in biology. These are the nucleotides which is present in the gene. When both are combined, you will be getting a code for synthetic biology. Biological systems like DNA and RNA especially appear to be more than a network of information in computers. That is, RNA itself can be seen as a molecular decision network because it can produce proteins and genes which is necessary for the synthesis of synthetic microorganism. Okay, there is a software called eCell. eCell is an object-oriented software that is used for modeling, simulation, and analysis of large complex systems such as biological cells. This eCell concept is the software behind the synthetic biology. Okay, this is possible. Actually, there are two companies called BioPsych and CellML. BioPsych is a company which collects the organism and specific metabolic pathway databases are identified. And CellML is an XML based format for exchanging biological data from genes to proteins, then proteins to metabolism. This CellML will create the metabolism. These are the two companies or two ways to create the computer modelings of biological organisms. And when these digital cells meet the synthetic biology, there are three processes primarily you should go. First thing is we should model the circuit. That is, you have to design a circuit. Next thing is you have to validate the circuit. After validation, you must alter and tinker the circuit. So that the next step will be you can alter the gene to build a new protein. Single nucleotide proteins will be the first approach because that will be produced first. And then you can see how much it is tolerated. This is the steps in bringing digital cells from synthetic biology. Okay, what are the tools that is needed to do this challenge? There are tools, but there is no readily accessible tools to create these biological devices because it is very much complicated. But what is needed is ready access to self-standardized biological parts and devices. And a huge team is needed to incorporate the biological material into machineries. That should be changed. That is why it is given. A reliable and defined cellular chamber is needed so that an engineer can easily assemble the machineries as well as the power DNA programs in them. And there should be computer tools and measurement standards to enable the ready integration of simple devices into many component functional systems. As our body has few organs that is considered to be altogether called as organism, this synthetic organism will have simple devices that will make together a component functional system. Next, what is the scope of the synthetic biology? Synthetic biology seeks to assemble components that are natural. Yes, of course, we are going to use synthetic materials like chemicals. That too, we are going to generate chemicals out of it. This motivation is similar in biomimetic chemistry. This biomimetic chemistry is nothing but organic chemical synthesis using microbes, plants, or anything of living origin. So far, synthetic biology has achieved much, few I have listed. For example, potential applications of synthetic biology starts from medicine, and it also creates some power, that is energy generation is also possible. For example, designed microorganisms may produce pharmaceutical compounds that is very challenging for production in chemical or biological method. When compared to chemical and biological method, the synthetic biology will produce enormous, cost-effective, and very good products in pharma industry. Several pharmaceuticals already produced few engineered organisms using biotechnology, but synthetic biology should be encouraged because it is very cost-effective and nature-friendly. This is an emerging technology that hopes to further develop our biology as a substrate for engineering because it adapts various concepts in not only in life science but also from various fields of engineering. Okay, so far there are engineered biological devices based on modular assemblies and proteins that are incorporated into our body orally or through blood. This act within the body by detecting and responding to changes in the state of health. It is nothing but an autonomous body, which is very smaller in size. That is why it is considered as molecular scale physician that can diagnose disease at an early stage. In India, cancer is a large problem because most people identify their cancer in the final stage or third stage. But once if you're using this molecular scale physician, this disease can be diagnosed in the early stage itself. And also, this device could be used for tissue repair and cell regeneration. It automatically repairs the tissue. Such means the synthetic biology might provide the tool for medical intervention at the molecular level so that you need not go for any surgery or any pharmaceutical medicine, etc. Okay, in environment, it has given so many benefits. The first thing is bioremediation. You might know what is bioremediation is nothing but nullifying the toxins present in the environment. Sometimes microorganisms is engineered or even plants can be engineered to degrade the pesticides, not only pesticides, the toxic elements present in the soil. The symbiote techniques are currently used to modify or artificially create the prokaryotic organisms. That is very small microorganisms can be easily developed, but multicellular organism is still infancy because it is not possible with the help of synthetic biological tools which is available now. One among such project is C4 RISE project. This is an interesting project in scientific grand challenge of this 21st century. Nearly 5 countries are working together to apply this innovative technique in the development of high yielding rice varieties for smallhold farmers. We all know rice is a C3 plant. C3 plant is nothing but the plant which follows Calvin cycle, and it will produce 3 carbon compound called PGA. Whereas C4 plant will go Hazen-Slack pathway and produce oxaloacetic acid, and the carbon will be 4 carbon compound. This is the fact. But what is the advantage of C4 plant means it can withstand heat, drought, salinity, and it has high resistance to toxic chemicals which is present in the soil. Being a staple food of India, the rice is in C3 plant. So scientists have isolated the gene that is required from maize and incorporated into C4. And that is what C4 RISE project is. Next thing is biosensors. As the biosensors have large applications, it is used to detect the toxic chemicals such as arsenic or lead from the soil. And another important thing, do you believe that microorganism can create electric current? Yes, it is possible. Bacteria such as Geobacter and Shevonella have the ability to grow in highly conductive biofilms, mainly composed of hair-like structures called pili. And these bacteria form the basis of microbial fuel cells, MFC. This is a new emergent field in the field of synthetic biology where scientists are focusing on the production of electric current from microorganisms. The thing is, you can produce the electric current from the degradation of organic pollutants. See, you can do bioremediation as well as power generation. The output voltage of microbial fuel cells has been used to demonstrate a few biosensors. This is done in p-nitrophenol degradation in industrial wastewater, atrazine from wastewater, formaldehyde from wastewater, and copper which is being released from the mines. It is used for the power generation by degrading with the help of microorganisms. See, this is the picture of Geobacter, which completely degrades the pollutants which is present in the wastewater, industrial water. Okay, there are two types of pollutants in the environment. One is inorganic pollutants and organic pollutants. Both pollutants can be degraded with the help of specific microorganisms. First thing is biofilms. Biofilms can be made of uh, microbes or algae or even the plants, which act as biosensors, which detects the heavy metals in the soil. The next is novel pollutant detoxifying enzymes. Think, if a plant is able to produce some detoxifying enzymes, there will be no pollutant in the soil. That is, it will stabilize the soil fertility. And you can create artificial organelles which can recycle the minerals. And you can engineer plants so that mineralization will not be a huge task, because once if you engineer a plant to do a specific task, then plant will add minerals to the soil by degrading the polluted atmosphere as well as environment. By doing so, I've told already, microbial fuel cells can generate electricity too. And this bioremediation is specific. Don't worry, it will not degrade the useful micronutrients and metals which is present in the soil. It will be degrading the specific metal pollutants, organic pollutants, and also it helps in the uptake of specific micronutrients for the soil. That is, it does not disturb the non-target metals. Okay. Another field is medical application. As told earlier, it can be sent into the body to monitor and respond to the conditions of the body. And so far, insulin production has been triggered with the regulatory circuits. These regulatory circuits are inserted into our body. It will trigger the pancreas to stimulate insulin when diabetes is detected. And bacteria and viruses could be specifically programmed to identify the cancer cells and deliver the therapeutic agents to those cancer cells. And viruses have been also engineered to interact with the HIV infected cells, because there is no medicine to cure HIV, only you can prolong the HIV patient's life. Here they have engineered some virus to interact with the HIV cells, which could prevent the development of further AIDS disease in that person. Okay, this is all about few applications what we have achieved and what is the process behind it. Only thing is you have to choose a natural cell. And actually this is a huge process. I'm just explaining in brief. You have to choose a natural cell. You have to go for this isolation of genomic DNA, then go for sequencing. Once the sequencing is done, you can go for DNA sequence databases. You can collect the code out of that DNA. Or if you're doing with a familiarized gene, you can go approach GeneBank from USA, European Molecular Biology Laboratory from Europe, database, that is DNA Data Bank of Japan, that is DDJB from Japan, or Camera Metagenomic Database again from US. You can get the DNA sequence databases from there, and you can design your genome, interested genome. You can go for DNA synthesis, put those genome in an yeast, you will get the synthetic genome. Once you transplant that synthetic genome into a recipient cell, your cell will be a synthetic cell that plays a major role in production of synthetic microorganism or synthetic living organism. Do you believe that what is going on replicating rubber tires? Yes. Once if your tire gets punctured, you need not worry, your tire will automatically replicate, that is, it will rejuvenate. DuPont is a company, is an American company. It has tied up with Goodyear Tire Rubber Company, is currently working on the development of reliable, high efficiency fermentation based process of bioisoprene monomer. Actually, this isoprene is an important commodity chemical which is used in variety of applications, not only in rubber tires, but also in few lubrication, few machineries to reduce the adhesion. This isoprene is naturally produced in all living organisms, in humans too. We have isoprene. Plants will have isoprene. Bacteria will have. But the metabolite dimethylallyl pyrophosphate is converted into isoprene by the enzyme isoprene synthase. But this green encoding is possible only with the rubber trees. But making natural rubber will be a limited source if you do this. That is why this topic is very much going and field. Next is acrylic. Acrylic is another important petrochemical where you find in all industrial and consumer products. Acrylic is present in paints that we use, detergents we use, diapers, whatever we have in daily life, most products will have this acrylic. Acrylic makes the paint more durable and odor-free. It pastes to the wall stronger. It lasts for longer days. And in diapers, it has more absorbent capacity and leak-proof. And in detergents, it can clean the cloths better. But today, petroleum-based acrylic is an 8 billion global market. It's a huge market. But whereas OPX Biotechnology is a company which is developing renewable bio-based acrylic to match up this petroacrylic performance. And cost-wise, it is very much cost. But when compared to greenery, it is reducing 75% of greenhouse gas emission to the environment. Also, this bioacrylic from OPS Biotechnologies will reduce oil dependence so that there won't be any change in the petrol price what we are facing today. This is the green bioacrylic produced from plants and few microbes too. Another thing is surfactants. This is making green chemicals from agricultural waste. Again, green from green. You know what? Surfactants? Surfactants means surface active reagent. It means it will reduce the surface tension of an object and it helps in blending. Normally, oil and water will not mix. But once if you put surfactant, oil and water will completely mix. Yes, in dyeing industry, they were using this surfactants for penetration of dye into the fabric evenly, and we are using it in detergent so that it completely dissolves in water. In agriculture, few farmers were using the surfactants in water so that the fertilizer will completely dissolve in the soil so that it will be evenly distributed towards the field. But all the surfactants, again, it is coming from petrochemicals only, and few seed oils will contribute the surfactant. Worldwide production of surfactants from petrochemicals annually emits, again, lot of carbon dioxide, which contributes to greenhouse gases. Because it nearly combusts 3.6 billion gallons of gasoline. So what you can do? You can go for seed oil. Seed oil is greener, but you cannot deplete all the trees like coconut trees for the production of this acrylic. So Modular is a company, it is developing microorganisms that can convert this agricultural waste material into new surfactants. Yes, this is possible. Soybean hull, it is a woody case that covers the soybean. It cannot be digested by humans and monogastric animals like our domestic animals. So it is completely waste. But this modeler has developed a microorganism that convert this soybean hull into a surfactant that is used in cosmetics widely. Okay, what synthetic biology is doing in this COVID-19? Okay, the only tool for saving ourselves is vaccine, that is what they were telling. Demand is growing in developing and developing countries too for the world for cost-effective vaccines to prevent so many infectious diseases. But developing of new vaccine is not an easy process. It is a time-consuming process because you must weaken the virus, or else you have to weaken the bacterial toxins, or you must first identify what antigen it is. That's a huge process. And the development, purification, and production of immunogens will help to prevent these diseases. But these life technologies has proven a track record in vaccine development. That is, it provides the molecular engineering tools and service necessary to sequence the genetic information of a disease-causing pathogen to create new vaccines. Yes, and this treatment is more efficient and timely manner than current practices, because current practice, it needs huge time to identify the pathogens, but life technologies has reduced the time of the researchers to know what antigen it is. Yes, this process is made easy by Life Technologies. They will design, they will synthesize, test, and deploy the antigens, and they will develop the immunogens. Immunogens is different from antigens. Antigen means a foreign particle which stimulates the disease, but immunogen will stimulate the immune response of the body. Life Technologies has developed immunogens engineered for efficient and high titer, and they have produced rapid assays for the purification of these immunogens. Yes, this is possible in HIV vaccines. They have tested two. GeneArt is a company, a group of scientists have designed in December 2010. They have tested the clinical trial, the first phase in Europe under the foundation called Euro Vaccine Foundation. This trial proved the vaccine is safe and well tolerated and has triggered the strong immune response in 90% of the candidates. So soon India will be getting this high HIV vaccine. Okay, the another field is producing biofuels and renewable chemicals as petroleum alternatives. Diesel is the most widely used fuel in this world because most of the cars, rail engines, trucks, bulldozers, everything is running on diesel. And there is no cost-effective renewable alternate source to diesel still. So, LS9 Inc. is a venture-funded company which is focusing on production of biodiesel from transgenic microorganisms. It has developed a platform technology that leverages the natural efficiency of fatty acid biosynthesis to produce a diversity drop in fuels and chemicals. Once if it is done, there is one-step conversion of carbohydrates, that is plant sugar, into two diesel alternatives. One is you will get biodiesel, also you will be getting an alkane. Okay, there are some ethical concerns when it comes to synthetic biology because once in human made cell, one human made a cell in 2010 called Cynthia. This has become a debate in global level related to the ethics of synthetic biology because opponents have put their views and started criticizing as it is against nature, it might bring some disaster to this world, it may cause some imbalance in the environment because it is artificially synthesized. And this is the article regarding that synthetic lives. It was come in 2010. So that they have designed 5 ethical principles in order for the safety of synthetic microorganisms. First thing is it should be public beneficence. Second thing is it should be responsible stewardships. That is, it should not affect the earth as well as environment. Intellectual freedom and responsibility it should have. Democratic deliberation it should have. There should be justice and fairness in the production of synthetic microorganisms. Okay, what will be the goals of synthetic biology to be achieved? There are methods for creating biological system, but we should standardize the biological parts to build novel biological system. And we should redesign the existing biological parts for the production of some protein because protein will do functions in our body. And we have to synthesize few natural products or engineer new microbes for various purposes like environmental application or medical application, whatever it may be, and to construct a simple genome of a natural bacterium to design a synthetic genome. These are the goals of synthetic biology. In food science, the synthetic biology plays an important role in bringing the food safer to the people, consumer, and they are checking whether it is more nutritious, more delicious, and more sustainable. Yes, this is possible by changing the food production system, by improving some nutrition or adding few nutrition and functions to the food, and redesigning the fermentation technology is what we are following. Once this is done, food science will also have the synthetic biology. Okay, what are the biosafety concerns we have? According to this American Biology Safety Association, this biosafety issues has been derivated. It containment principles, facility design, practices and procedures to prevent occupational infections, because we guys are going to alter the microorganisms. That microorganisms should not create any infections in the environment, or the synthetic organism which is released to the environment should not create any bad impact. These were the biosafety concern of synthetic microorganism. And intentional or unintentional release of this synthetic microorganism into the environment during the research or its application is the biggest crime. There is no risk owing to homeostasis of biological ecosystems and vulnerability of synthetic organisms to displacement by a native organisms, which means this synthetic microorganism should not disturb the native organism. That is the great thing about this biosafety concern. Why? Because there are some biosecurity concerns. Who knows? COVID-19 may be a bioterrorism or bio-warfare against the countries of the world. Likewise, there should not be again a bioterror war. Biosecurity risks are potential misuse of synthetic biology because they create bioterrorism and bio attacks with the help of genetically engineered microbes. And synthetic biology provides this technical support for creating dangerous bacteria and virus. There are websites which clearly gives the genetic sequence of bacteria and virus. The websites are GeneBank, EMBL, DDJB. From those websites, you can download the information and what the virus or bacteria or any pathogen actually is. And there is a huge supplier of this synthetic genome in USA. Within 4 business days, with cost-effective price, they will be giving you this complete genome from commodity chemicals. Therefore, we can program whatever changes we want. You need not go for green production. There is a company in US. Only thing is you have to go for synthesize the oligonucleotides, and you have to go for genome transplantation. Then you will be getting a synthetic genome which form the basis of synthetic microorganism. It is like in biology, they say that software encodes the hardware. Whatever the data in DNA will be replicated in your appearance. That is the color of the hair and skin. Everything is because of the DNA. It is like I'm getting an iPhone. I'm installing the Android operating system. So my phone will be morphed as Samsung Galaxy. This is an example to show you what is happening in synthetic biology. You'll be choosing a microorganism. That microorganism will be incorporated into a machinery. Actually, it is considered as a machinery, but it will be operated as a living organism. Okay, let me end this lecture with some fun note of synthetic biology experiments. Do you believe that you can de-extinct the extinct species? Yes, this is possible. This was tried in 2009 in a Pyrean ibex. It is nothing but some goat-like animal. It almost worked. The cloned goat was able to survive, but then it died after bringing into life. Do you remember Dolly, the cloned ship? Yes, it is completely possible, and there are records too. What we have to do is we can sequence the genome in few days for a few kilo base pairs, and then we can synthesize or alter the big pieces of DNA. That is, we have to minimize the genome, and we can almost reboot cells with this DNA. That is, we can incorporate this DNA into the cells. We can convert those cells into stem cells to the embryos. Next, you can go for in vitro fertilization. So it is possible to edit the genomes of closest living animals that has been going to extinct. But Jurassic, that is dinosaur, is not possible because we don't have any complete sequenced DNA of any dinosaurs that lived nearly a million years ago. Besides this genomic engineering, from embryonic stem cells, we can grow the entire organism also. Yes, I'd like to thank Yamanaka for bringing out this procedure. That is, we can convert the skin cells into stem cells. Yes, this is possible. If so, if of a skin of any living organism, you can bring it into the world as a true living organism. And when it came to light, there was serious proposal to resurrect the woolly mammoth. Yes, this you have seen in so many cartoon movies. There were mammoth. Mammoth is a similar animal which looks like an elephant, a hairy elephant. Mammoth genome sequence has been isolated and 100 kilobase per DNA changes is incorporated into elephant cells. That is converted into mammoth skin cells, and these skin cells were converted into stem cells. Then stem cells can be converted into embryos. But the hardest step is you cannot in vitro fertilize these elephants because mammoth is not possible. That is why it is banned. Actually, there were serious papers which was going through in the field of life science to bring this mammoth to this world. This mammoth making is very easy using the technique called CRISPR. This CRISPR means clustered regulatory interspaced short palindromic repeats. With this technique, scientists can splice the gene of mammoth's ears, its fat, hair length, color, everything into the DNA's skin cells. This tissue cultures represents the first time woolly mammoth genes have been functional after the extinct of that animal 4,000 years ago. But then this research has been stopped because it is against the nature and ethical concern. So, what do you think of Neanderthal man? Human and Neanderthal genomic sequence are similar. You can edit their DNA in human skin cells. You can convert into Neanderthal cell cells. Converting the skin cells into stem cells is possible, as told earlier. Then you can go for embryo development, and you can in vitro fertilize in human surrogate mother. The difference between the human and Neanderthal man means the modern man have rounded skull and lacks prominent brow ridge present. But in Neanderthal men, they have strong muscular bodies and wide hips and shoulders, which is the closest organism of human beings. Let me end this talk by saying that biological engineers of future will start their research from laptops and they need not go to this laboratory. Yes, this is possible because synthetic biology will be a new field in the field of biology. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gautam. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. Or else, please post your questions in the chat box. Anything is fine, so we'll be able to answer. Gautam, you have a question on chat box.
Yes, can this genetically engineered microbes undergo mutation? Thing is, we are not going to engineer the microbes alone. We are going to incorporate into the machineries. So mutation may not be possible, but this has to be a concern in the ethical concern. That is, it might go for mutation, but not to great level, since machineries is involved, because machines cannot go mutation. I hope you got the answer. Anything else?
Gautam, with your permission, can I please post the feedback link so people can simultaneously fill in the feedback? I'm just sending the feedback link in the chat box, so please feel free to give your feedbacks.
Okay, there was a question, how effective in this field in day-to-day life? As told, there were so many effective ways this biologically engineered plants is in market, biologically engineered microbes which helps in bioremediation is in market, and few things which I have listed like rubber tires is not possible because the work is going on, but bioacrylic, everything is happening. The production of biofuels is now happening in IIHR Bangalore too, that I'm currently working on it. So this is possible in day-to-day life also. Can you make complete organism from a single cell by synthetic biology? Yes, that is possible because we have so many technologies. Once if we give a single base pair of DNA, you get thousands of base pairs using PCR. As such, a single synthetic cell may create complete organism. That is, digital cells has to be produced, and they can be put together to produce a whole organism. Is it possible to bring rhinos using this technology, as it is one of the recently extinct animal? See, you can bring any animal which has become extinct, or you can save the animal by interventing with synthetic biology, but it should not go against the ethical concern. That's it. As you said that this can be used for biowars, do you think that the pandemic going is a pandemic? Of course, yes. Not only me, the whole world is questioning China how this COVID-19 virus came out of their laboratories. This should be answered. I hope this is a biowar. Any other questions?
Gautam, there was a question in between. So, can we control the growth and replication of these microbes?
Yes, it is possible, because we guys, one thing you have to understand, the synthetically engineered organism is not the microorganism. It is synthetically engineered biological system, like biological machinery. As you control a machinery in your house, you can control this biologically synthesized machineries too. So it is possible to control these microorganisms.
Okay. One second. There is another question here. Before that, people who are watching YouTube live, please post your questions there. We'll be able to moderate. Kindly post your questions in the chat box in YouTube. Thank you.
Do bioengineered organism interact with our genes? No. This bioengineered organism will not interact with our genes, because it is possible. In medical field now, they are taking this bioengineered organism as a molecular scale physician to diagnose the disease, particularly cancer in the early stage. Still now there is no alteration in our genes, so you can use it.
Okay, so I think there is no question in YouTube as well. So if there is any no more questions, then thank you so much, Gautam, for accepting our invitation and being a part of Sai Chronicle. I hope it was insightful to everybody who are interested to pursue research in this field. So thank you so much once again. We'll share the YouTube recorded video soon in the WhatsApp groups. So thank you so much, Gautam. Thank you.
Thank you, Hani, for having me. Thank you.